We don't know what her personal best is, and I don't have that information on, but you've got to think that's got to be one of her best swims ever. You couldn't improve much on that.
Well, to be that far ahead of such incredible athletes like Asquith, obviously she's gold medalist from last year, so to have 15 metres on last year's winner who just got silver, I think if that's not a PB, I would be scared for next year or whenever she races next.
Yeah, it's quite an improvement for sure. It's the boys' turn now in the 400 individual medley. What a race that was for the girls. Can the boys put on an equal show? The fastest qualifier this morning, Samuel Higgs. And we're a big fan of Samuel Higgs for a number of reasons. The main one being Warringah, the Warringah pink, and we can see the pink cap there. We're very lucky to get a couple of pink hats from Warringah this morning. Thank you very much to the team for your generosity. You have made lifetime supporters of us. And Oscar Kreutzberger did a great job this morning as well. But we've got Kreutzberger, Higgs, Woodford, Feynman had a great swim this morning, Haylett, Metcalf. We've even got the big name in Thorpe, Samuel Thorpe from St Peters Western. So we've got some big names here, Alex.
Yeah, absolutely. And the boys look like they're relatively close. Higgs really out in front this morning with a 4:31, and the rest of the field only really about 5 seconds separates them all. So Higgs will look to take this out, but we'll see which of the boys can go with him.
Yeah, on paper it looks that way, but, you know, we saw the last race. It just went absolutely out, so anything's possible. Off and racing in the boys' 17 years, 400 individual medley. What a cracking race it was in the girls. The boys' turn now, and we see the familiar pink cap. We love the pink cap from Warringah in the middle from Samuel Higgs. He took it out really well this morning and had a very mature pace to swim. You can see him now just lengthening that stroke out. Butterfly is not an easy stroke. It's not as technical as breaststroke, but it's not as efficient as everything else, and he makes that butterfly look easy. Looking good so far. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, he is looking very strong at the moment. The rest of the field seems to be going with him so far, so we'll see if they can hold on. But as we know, in a 400 IM, everyone has their different strengths. We may see a little bit of a lead change in the backstroke and potentially onto the breaststroke leg. It looks like Warren Haylett out in lane 2. Swimming out of Griffith University, swimming with Tommy Fraser-Holmes, a former 400-metre IM Australian record holder. So let's see if Tommy's imparted some wisdom onto him.
Out underneath the minute mark for Samuel Higgs. Pretty close between the rest of the field, though. A really tight race for second so far in this backstroke leg. Breaststroke coming up next, so important just to keep this pattern going, keep this rhythm going. Samuel Higgs still in front, but Kreutzberger, Haylett and Woodford line astern in second. Back a little bit is Menzies in lane 1, and looking over at lane 6 and lane 7, Feynman and Metcalf. But it is still Samuel Higgs out in this backstroke. How's his breaststroke from this morning based on the heats there, Braden?
Well, we know Samuel Higgs has quite the breaststroke engine behind him. He was in the final for that 200 breaststroke, so we know he's got a strong breaststroke leg. I was just watching the underwater work there, and that's what separated Kreutzberger from Higgs. Higgs really worked his underwater work because Kreutzberger was catching up with the highest stroke rate. But as we see, that underwork has not just exceeded him, he's put 3 body lengths on the rest of the field.
Yeah, that was a nice backstroke. His skills are fantastic. Into the split stroke for the breaststroke, and he's gone 10 metres off the wall. Most of the others coming up around that sort of 7 or 8, so he's managed to get a good distance off that. And he's, as you say, a great 200 breaststroker, and he really is driving forward. If you're a strong 200 breaststroker, 400 IM might be an extra race for you on your schedule, because Samuel Higgs is really showing how to do it.
Yeah, as we can see, the breaststroke leg seems to be the key in these IMs, and quite often these IM boys will be able to do a pretty tidy 100 or 200 metre breaststroke. As we see Higgs going out to that 10 metre mark again, so really showing his class above with these skills.
Yeah, we love to see the pink cap in the middle of the pool. He's had such a good program this week. He was well ahead of the field this morning, but not this far. This is a big swim from Samuel Higgs tonight. Were you expecting this, Braden? I was expecting something, but maybe not this.
Yeah, look, this is one of the great 400 IMs. I thought Remington's breaststroke lead there was one of the great ones of the night. But to be this far ahead of an incredible field from Kreutzberger and our swimmer in lane number 5 as well, it's incredible. And we know he's got a great freestyle. His brother's the gold medalist in the 4, the 15. And they're both surf lifesaving athletes. So we've seen the Kreutzberger brothers. They've got a big crew, but the Higgs brothers are just head and shoulders ahead of the pack. Luke Higgs said, "I've got gold, bro. You want one?" And he goes, "Yep, sir, 400 AM, tick that box, it's mine." I think it's going to be very hard for him to lose this one.
Now, the title holder last year won this event, Carl Alberton, in a 4:24.03. Higgs there turning 3:53. So if he can come home in roughly that sort of 29:30, he's going to go a bit faster than that. It does show that record 4:16 by Mitch Larkin, that how fast that is. That 4:16 already passed. He is coming down to the wall and is going to be a 4:23.18. That is a brilliant time. And Samuel Higgs really gave it all there as he removes the pink cap just to try to cool down a little bit. You can see how much that hurt. Second through Kreutzberger, 4:29.22. Woodford, 4:32. Fourth home Metcalf, 4:37.34. And Feynman getting in that 4:38. But Samuel Higgs, 4:23. He's taken his hat off. I take my hat off to him as well. That was a blistering start. He just went out after it and didn't give up.
Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic swim there from Higgs. He looked a bit gassed at the end there, and I'm sure he was. The 400 IM is no joke. So really good job from the boys. Again, fantastic improvements from their times from this morning, which we really love to see. The skill, as you get a little bit older, as you start moving through the ranks in the senior swimmers, the key is to swim fast in the morning